Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is Fantastic Friday. It is that day that we say, God, we thank you for being such an awesome God and doing great and marvelous things in our lives. Look with me today at Ephesians, the 3rd chapter, verses 1 through 12, a very powerful message that comes to all of us about God's mysterious plan that is revealed. You know, here we begin to find out how God does a great work by using Paul, the apostle. Remember, Paul was formerly Saul of Tarsus. He was the one who went about persecuting the church. And now Paul finds himself not only having had persecuted the church, but now he finds himself being one of the chief disciples, the chief apostle. He is a prisoner of the Lord Jesus Christ, which means he makes himself a bond slave. He voluntarily says that, Lord, I'm going to be for you whatever you would have me to be. I'll trust you. Wherever you tell me to go, I'll go and I'll do it. Now, this text lets us see that God knew of Paul's great faith that he would exemplify to all of the believers as well as the non-believers. When we begin to read this text, we find out that God decides he's going to use Paul to do something. He's going to use him to be a voice to all the generations. Now, the previous generations hadn't heard this message, but those that are in Paul's contemporary world will begin to hear and see how the Spirit is being revealed to him as being one of the apostles and one of the prophets. Now, God's plan through and by Paul was for both the Jews and the Gentiles. That's the reason why Paul was selectively chosen by Jesus Christ. He was selectively chosen by God because he knew he could identify with both the Jews and the Gentiles, because Paul was the one in their day who had an influence of all people, and that God would allow him to realize that God's message is for everybody, and to tell the Jews and the Gentiles that they would equally share in the inheritance that God has for both of them as his children. You know, too oftentimes you and I forget that an inheritance is for all the children that are biologically born as well as those who are adopted. And Paul reminds them that the blessing is for those who were born into the family and then those who were adopted, the Jews and the Gentiles. Paul gives them a message of inclusion, that you are of the same body. It doesn't matter where you've come from, doesn't matter what your background is. God has loved you in such a way that you're all his children and you're in his family. Now, Paul begins to share this good news and share it with everybody that he meets everywhere he goes. And he counts it as a privilege to share with everybody the endless treasures of Jesus Christ. Now, you and I must remind ourselves that God has given us these endless treasures, and it is God's mysterious plan that he has kept secret from those who don't open the book. When you and I open the Bible, we'll find out all the secrets that God has in store for us are written right in front of our faces. It's a secret because you only know the secret when you open the book. I hope, my brothers and sisters, that you and I will open the book. We'll see the wisdom of God. We'll see the riches that he has for those. For those who will begin to open it up, they will see God has given us all power according to his Spirit, and all ruler and all authorities in all the heavenly places are under the lordship of Jesus Christ. And when we put Jesus first, just as Paul did, you and I can boldly be confident and saying, the Lord is my helper, and there's nothing I can't do with God on my side. Today, I want to remind you, you are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and take the Lord with you everywhere you go.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.